I'm back with another tier list. This time I'm looking at all the characters and see how they perform in SoloQ ranked. For Season 8, the ranked maps are Kings Canyon, then Olympus. So that's how I'm looking at it, and specifically SoloQ. So that will affect their rankings a bit. For example, first one up here, we got Watson. Her fences, good for holding a building. Her ult, great for holding an area. You kind of have to convince your team to play around you, though. That's a tough one. No escape tools if the fight goes bad and you need to make a run for it. That's the main thing that I feel happens the most in SoloQ. You lose a fight because you're uncoordinated. Because of that, you're going in D tier. Crypto, he's got a great ultimate. His drone can scan enemies, pick up banners, res teammates without him having ever to be there. He's not the best for SoloQ because, like I said, like Watson, he has no escape tools. But he makes it easier for your teammates to fight, and the EMP is free damage. It's going to knock the shields out, make the fight a little easier in your favor. He's not good for SoloQ. He's not bad for SoloQ. He's B tier. Revenant. See, this is a difficult one. He has no escape tools. His ability is to shut off other abilities. But his ultimate is game-changing if used correctly. If this were teams, he'd be S tier. He's a great teammate. But if you're solo queuing and you're playing Revenant, you got to convince your teammates to use your totem. You have to communicate with them, tell them, hey, so-and-so ability is down. But if you can get your teammates, the wild chimpanzees, to cooperate with you, it is a devastating ultimate. I'm going to put him above Crypto and B tier. Not bad, not good. You have to kind of communicate. It's kind of like Crypto's EMP. The ults are both like, hey, we got to push after I use this. They got to be grouped up. A little coordination. If you got to have coordination, you're going to struggle. Loba. Loba is actually a really good character. She's got some mobility with her Q. And it's a little slow, but if used right, you can get out most situations. Her ultimate is amazing. You can see all the loot in the area, get your teammates kitted up. There's no excuses like they don't have the good gun. You just throw down an ult. It's a very low cooldown. I think she's A tier now. You can pick her up, jump into a ranked match, and you'll do just fine. I don't even have to talk about Rampart. She's at the very bottom. Her ability sometimes just doesn't work. Her turret is a terrible ultimate, keeping you in one spot. You're going to get gunned down. Third party. Rampart is by far one of the worst characters. I'm going to say it right now. She's the worst character. Horizon. I think Horizon might just have to be our first S tier. Her ability has a pretty low cooldown. They just upped it for Season 8. But the ability to move your entire team, similar to a Wraith Portal or a Path Zipline, amazing. Not to mention the mobility you get, and it's just a great ability overall. The ultimate is a little lackluster. It's a slow. It can cause some confusion in fights, similar to like a Bangalore smoke. But other than that, it's really her Q that makes her such an amazing character to have on team. Fuse, I've been playing a lot of Fuse with the new season. And he lacks the escape ability. His ultimate requires your team to work together to punish them based on the position. And his cluster grenade is very lackluster. But the ability to hold a lot of grenades is something. It feels good. But he just lacks so much right now. I think he needs buffs. I'm going to have to put him in D tier. Not as bad as Rampart. You're better off picking Watson if you're solo queuing. I mean, I wouldn't touch anything in D tier. Bloodhound. He's actually going to be another S tier. I think Bloodhound is a great pick. His scan lets you know enemies are close. The hard part about SoloQ is you got to communicate to your teammates. A scan, hey, there's someone right there. Ultimate, more scans. More scans, better. You can see people. You move fast. He's a killing machine. He's really good this season. I'm going to leave him right there. He can be behind the horizon for SoloQ just because mobility is so important. Gibraltar, the big man himself. He is great in one-on-one fights. You're usually not going to lose a fight. Unlike my playstyle that I favor so much, I'm not moving that much on Gibraltar. You know, you're a solid mountain. No one's getting past you. Your gun shield's up. If you're a good Gibraltar, it is terrifying to face you. But if your team is down, you're like a mountain. You can't move that fast. You're going to get gunned down. I think if you're the one to engage the fight, win that initial 1v1, get the knock, your team's going to push off that. He can fast revive in his dome shield. You can provide cover for your team. Even if you're solo queuing, a Gibraltar makes the team play together, I feel. He provides that stability. It's a little different playstyle from Horizon and Loba, where you're a little more mobile, you can take fights, and if things go south, you can run. Gibraltar's there to make a sloppy team into a somewhat better team that can fight actual teams. Lifeline, she serves the same purpose. See, she is a fun solo queue pick. On a coordinated team, she's a monster. On an uncoordinated team, she's even a bigger threat. Because when someone goes down, she's there to pick them up. The problem is sometimes they will go down super far away from you in solo queue, and there's literally no way to save them because they ran in by themselves. Octane killed himself again. Oh God. But being Lifeline, you can force your teammates to stay alive as long as you're the last to go down. She does not offer much besides that. Her healing drone is great when your team's low on meds. Mid-fight, maybe you just rest. Once again, though, you got to have a team that's playing close together. Because of that, I'm going to move it back a bit. Really, just the passive revive is what makes her so good. And the ultimate, it's lackluster. It's sometimes you get purple shields. That's the best you're going to get. Maybe you get an attachment for the weapon you're using. But for the most part, her ultimate, you're not really feeling the impact as much as Gibraltar's, Loba's, Bloodhound, really anyone else. You're feeling these ultimates way more than the other ones. Pathfinder. Season 8 is a great season for Pathfinder. Kings Canyon and Olympus, Pathfinder is a monster. He's super mobile. It is hard to catch a good grapple. On Kings Canyon especially, there's so many spots you can grapple and just continue to slide, and no other character is going to be able to catch up to you. Even a Bloodhound and ult is going to lose track of you. Wraith, another great character. I forgot to mention Pathfinder's zipline. The zipline, you shoot down the zipline, your teammate's like, oh, we better follow him. Same concept with Wraith. You got a Q, you can get in and out of fights. You got a portal. You can force your teammates to follow you. Like, oh, she's dropping a portal? I better go that way. That's probably the right way. Pathfinder and Wraith Portal are the 1-2 ultimates that everyone's like, yeah, we should better follow that guy. You can really lead a team, whether they like it or not. Bangalore. Bangalore I also consider to be S tier. Now S tier is getting a little crowded. I might have to move these down. Well, you know what? Let's drop everyone a tier real quick. Because these three I consider to be the best for solo queue. And then these guys are close seconds. S tier is getting too crowded. We didn't have anyone in C tier. Revenant, Crypto, you belong there. Caustic. Caustic's a monster. But you kind of have to fortify an area. It's a little difficult in solo queue, but if you get a good ult off, you can win any fight. I'm not playing him that much just because he is a bulkier character. I think if I'm solo queuing and ranked, I'm not picking Caustic, but I'm picking him more than Revenant, Crypto, and everyone else down there. He he's a good character in in-game circles. Early on, when you're rotating a lot and moving, you're going to get caught out in the open. And sometimes it's just going to be unfortunate. You're a big target. You don't have Gibraltar's gun shield. You're going to go down. That's when a Caustic's at his weakest, the moment he's out in the open. And if you don't have a team that's willing to hunker down, you're in for more trouble. He's a solid C tier, though. Solid pick. This next character, Mirage. I hate to say it, but if you're solo queuing and you want to escape some scenarios, if you're a good Mirage, I think you can get out of some areas. You can really escape with your ultimate and your Q. It's going to be a tough one, though. It's Mirage. You got to be a good Mirage. You got to be a really good Mirage. You don't have to be a good Pathfinder. You don't have to be a good Bangalore or Wraith. You kind of pick them, and you're already at an advantage. With Mirage, you definitely got to be good at the character. Octane, I'm going to put you behind Bloodhound. He's got a speed boost. He's got a jump pad. He's a simple character. He likes to go fast. If a fight goes south, you're going to run. Or if you get an early knock, you can engage a fight really quickly. It's a tough one for Octanes. Having Octane on the team, I am predisposed to hate you. I always assume you're going to rush in on a jump pad, go down, and then yell at your team, why aren't they with you, after you just ran ahead and jump pad. But if you're the Octane and you play it right, you could climb. I say this after hitting Diamond every season, with Pathfinder and Bangalore being my main picks for solo queue. Just because if something goes wrong, I know I can route it out. Or if the fight goes right, I know I can push hard and fast with these three characters right here. Do I need to move someone down? Watson, Fuse, and Rampart. If you're solo queuing, you're not picking these characters. Yeah, they're definitely D tier. C tier, it feels bad to put Caustic in C tier, but if you're solo queue, you kind of have to convince your team to play around your barrels a bit. That's something that's a little difficult to do. It's kind of like the Watson fences, but the barrels are much more oppressive, and if you're getting gassed, it's hard for an enemy team to push you. Or if you throw your ult in, you can push in easily. The problem is you have to tell your team to push your ultimate. It is basically like hitting an entire team with an arc star. You got to be able to capitalize on that communication. And I'm going to be real. I feel like some people play with the game muted. They're not hearing me in chat. They're not hearing the pings. It's weird. So I because of that, Caustic, Revenant, and Crypto are low. Because all these require hey, we should push this, I'm ulting. Or hey, we should play here, play back, wait for a moment to ult, or play some barrels, play with the drone. That's why they're C tier. B tier, they're really there to help the team a bit. Except for you, Mirage. You are just not really doing much, but a good solo pick if you want to run away from a fight easily. Running away from a fight is the main thing in solo queue. You're not going to win every fight, especially if you get a bad team, which can happen. You're queuing up a lot of games. Sometimes you just don't get lucky. Now, Loba, Gibraltar, and Lifeline, they all help their team pretty well. So that's why they're good B tier picks. If the fight goes bad, only Loba is really getting out of these three. I hate you so much, Mirage. I wish I could put you lower, but I gotta admit you're good for solo queue. Horizon, Bloodhound, and Octane. These are three great characters, but they're not this great as these three up here. If I'm playing Pathfinder or Bang, I know I can almost get out of any situation if it goes down. Let's say someone got knocked immediately at the start of the fight, and then they're pushing your team hard. So you need to pull back a bit. I know it's Bangalore, I can smoke it, the move speed from the bullets, I'm out. Same with Pathfinder. I know one good grapple, and I am a football field away, no one's catching me. And because of that, I gotta put Pathfinder above Bangalore, even though I play Bangalore more. Wraith, I actually play when these two are picked by my teammates. I will pick up a Wraith. It's rare that both Pathfinder and Bangalore is taken, because Pathfinder is popular, but Bangalore is a lot less popular, so I usually don't have to play Wraith. But if I have to, she's my third pick. I think this is a solid tier list. There's only 16 characters, and let me just tell you, some are definitely better than others. Like, Rampart is unbelievably bad. It is so sad. She came out season 6. That was a rough season. That was not a good season. That's when they were doing the health changes. There was a lot of weird changes going on with Apex then. And Rampart came out at a bad time. I don't think she's gotten the love and care she should have. Like, sometimes you can't put down your wall. Like, the character just doesn't work all the time. Even if she was like a good character, I would have to put her down here if your ability doesn't work some of the time. But I think for the most part, this is a solid tier list of who you should play if you're solo queuing and ranked.